So we'll just introduce with a video just to show what type of automation we are able to provide in a Geodis scope.
So I think we all know Geodis from different areas into logistics. Curious why there's a separate division around engineering. Is that not part of every division itself? Please elaborate on that.
Yeah. We decided 2 years ago to have a dedicated services only. So it's my services, and the goal was to have people directly ready to speak with the customer and to speak with the partner and to define exactly what will be the solution. In the past, it was more to contact a partner. So when I say partner, it's a supplier. However, when we go to a supplier, he provides only, for example, robots, but we don't know if the robots will be the good solution. So we have the cape to say, okay, we have a panel of supplier, and we decide exactly what type of solution. We are very technical, so it was the goal of Geodis to have an expert and services dedicated for this.
And talking about the divisions, is the engineering cross business unit?
Yeah.
Or cross customers?
Yeah, we do the job everywhere. Logistics, we have a distribution and express too, and we are present everywhere in the world. So we work for China, we work for USA, and we have no limits. And what is important to know, it's we are able to define a solution for just a few K, 100K for a small solution. And until a big solution, our big solution with automation that we have today in Geodis is for a capex of 60 million euros. So it means that the scope is very large. But it's very nice to work for small systems because €1 it's €1. But for the big systems, it's another challenge.
And when it comes to automation, for some it's a buzzword. For some we feel, there's, in order to be in the logistics, you always need kind of automation. So is there a specific angle you choose within Geodis to differentiate, or so what is under automation in a kind of scope?
Yeah, the scope can go to I explained to a small robot, a small conveyor, until a big system with shuttle systems with you can imagine to provide solutions to manage 3,000-4,000 orders per hour. So you can imagine it's a very huge systems. So it's very large of technology.
Is there someone in the audience trying to emphasize on automation related to Geodis? Are there some questions already?
No question now.
That's good. So I think you saw in the video that it is, and with you leading a division, it's maybe increasingly hot in the market, also with your company. Can you explain a bit more why it is now more hot than, let's say, 5 years ago?
Yeah. Clearly, today automation for me it's a key success. Or for it's my job, so it is normal to say that. But we can find a lot of benefits for the automation. I will start. I will just explain 6 different benefits that you can keep. The first one is very clear: as the cost. We will compare manual solution instead of automation. So, but it was the case during a long time. But since a couple of years, is not only the cost. It means that we have some issue that you know clearly, and the cost is the first factor. But we can imagine that some of the benefits will help to take the decision at the end. You know that we have a cost inflation of the manpower. Clearly today, to define a site with only manual solution, it's take a risk. I have an example. We have many sites in the US. Just last year, we increased the cost of manpower for the blue collar of 20%. So it means that when we have a contract and when we have inflation of the cost of manpower, the scope change every time. And compare with automation, because when we purchase something with automation, the cost is in the beginning, and after you have just the cost of the maintenance. So if you decrease of 20% your manpower, it means that this 20% you are sure that during maybe 10 years or maybe 20 years during the automation system life, you are pretty sure to not have extra costs. So it's very important. So first of all, to compare the cost. The second benefit is the capacity, because today, as you know, for some of the reason, we are not able to provide a big site with 500 people. We cannot, because it's very complex to find people. I think everyone has these same problems. You cannot access to the site. You can imagine in a short period to have 500 cars in the same roads to access to the site. You need to have parking place, so it's very complex. So automation will be the good solution to make the job that you are not able to do manually. So and again, concerning the capacity, everyone has an impact with a peak period. Every logistic company looking for many people in the same times is during Christmas and during the Black Friday. So when you have automation, you can imagine to maybe have the needs to have more people during this period. However, the automation will decrease this period. So with the same systems, with the same number of people, you will obtain the better results. So it's a key factor to imagine and to pass this period. So best cost, capacity. We can speak about quality. With automation today, we have a best solution to control many times during the process. So it means that compared with manual you still have the risk of an operator make a mistake, and at the end it's a final customer not very happy to receive a table when he wants to have a t-shirt, just for the joke. But with automation we will increase the quality, control step by step a lot of things, the weight, the barcode, and many times to arrive at the end of the better quality. And you need to know that something that's important is when I say we decrease the manpower on site, it means that we will keep a strong team. We will keep a team dedicated for automation without a lot of turnover. And if we don't have a turnover, you are more quality too, because the team knows exactly the site, and it seems to be better. After that, something that's important for the benefits is a square meter optimization. Everywhere it's very hard to find warehouse. Everyone's every logistic company would like to have the nice warehouse just next to the city, good place,
Good infrastructure.
good infrastructure, good Barry Center. And today it's very complex. And maybe 20 years ago, it was regular to say, you have a good example, a warehouse like this, a building like this, but you use only 2.5 meters for the Dutch people, because however the rest of the warehouse is not used. So today, the benefits of automation will be to use the fully height of the building and to have a massification. Clearly, if we have massification, we will decrease the footprint, and it will be easy to find another warehouse. And for construction, it will be easy. So it's a key factor. After, we can speak about something very important. It's all of the management concerning human resources. The management could be decreased because we'll decrease more and more the people that you need. And it will be less training, so it's less management, very important. So at the end, it will be better. And at the end, you need to know something, but for me, it's the employee satisfaction. It's a big benefit. When you need to have people on site, if people come and see that we have robots, you have a lot of technology, it's better compared with a standard warehouse. So I think it's very important to imagine that it will be a key to find easier people to work on the site. And because it's fun. So I think it's
An engineering telling us, huh?
Yeah. But clearly it's fun, and our experience in Geodis concerning automation is in the beginning nobody wants to work with robots or conveyors. Oh my God! However, after a couple of days on the workshop, nobody wants to change, because it's fun, it's safe compare with manual solution with forklift. With a forklift, we will still have the risk to have a contact with people. If we have, for example, an AGV, around the AGV you have a lot of sensors to detect people. So at the end, it's better, it's safe, and we know that the machine is more safe compared with people on site. So at the end, it's a couple of benefits that we can find with automation, and create a value with the automation.
So these are benefits, and it's like almost selling itself. Are there any challenges in projects to implement, or even within your company yourself, to get everyone involved and engaged around this?
Yes, it's clearly a challenge, but again, it's we have the benefits, but we have the constraint phase of this, because everyone knows that the cost is very important. I receive every week some video from YouTube who say, okay, I want this technology, I want this robot, but we cannot reply because we need to find a good ROI, first of all. And clearly, we are 3PL, we have a contract with the customer, and we cannot have a contract for 10 or 20 years. We would like it will be better, but however, the customer wants to pass by a logistic company to avoid to have a long-term contract and to have a big capex. So the constraint is to say we need to be back-to-back between the contract and the investments. So it means that at the end of the contract, we need to pay all of the investments. So it's a risk, because sometimes with a short contract we are not able to provide a huge automation. However, and I'm sure that you know many companies present here, but we can see a new technology, AMR, autonomous mobile robots, that you can rent So it's new for the market. So we decrease the risk. So we have some combination to decrease this risk. And for e-commerce, the constraint is you don't know the market. You don't know what will be the future. It's very complex. We can understand. It could be a big grow up of the market, or you don't know what's happened, but the market is not good. So to make investment, it's a risk. So it's a challenge.
And for us, with a logistics point of view around supply chain, is a constraint still the supply chain in getting the equipment ready in time for projects to implement?
Yeah, it's clearly a challenge too. It's a good question because we need to have a timing to implement. It will be perfect if you just push the button like e-commerce and to receive tomorrow or the day after the product ready for the warehouse. It's not the real life. So we need to wait for some of the systems 6 months. For other systems, we need to wait 2 years for huge systems. And as you know, all of the integrators, the constructor has a lot of job now.
Yep.
So the delivery time is very long. So the challenge is when we receive a project is to know when the final customer needs to have this site, when is the final contract, and to play with the list of constructor, the list of solution, what could be the best. So when I say something, say, okay, what is the best for me? What is the best solution today? I don't know. It depends of a lot of things. So yes, it's a challenge. It's my job. It's for the reason I'm here.
Yeah. And for you talked about e-commerce and the market dynamics. Also from a client perspective, I assume if you talk about automation to your clients, is it really tuned on the specifics of the client and the products, maybe even the profile, the shipping profile, the items, the SKUs, or can you try to standardize of the solutions?
Yeah, it will be my dream to standardize. It will be a challenge that I would like to pass, but again, every customer is different. We try to have a solution to have a multi-customer inside the warehouse, but it's a big challenge. Today, the problem is each customer has a specification, has an assumption, and one we want to make inside the same box everyone, it's complex. However, for example, we have around now 500 robots, and we try to implement everywhere the same type of robots because it's easy to connect to our WMS. To train, it means that, for example, in the US, we have some people that we can train the new people with experience and knowledge. So we try to do that, but imagine that in the future, all of the sites will be the same. If you have the solution, I would like to know because we will be maybe rich.
And I think also at Deliver and some other sessions, sustainability is something we strive for and to put first. How is sustainability in automation and how do you rate that and what kind of decisions do you make?
Yes, I think you have no choice. If you want to save the planet, we need to be careful. And clearly today, I already explained, but we work of the square meters optimization. So it's a key factor because if you are empty space, it means that you need a heater for nothing or just to burn air. And something it's important, we need to imagine to reuse the system because today we purchase the systems, but sometimes after 5 years, all of the conveyor, all of the sorter, all of the shuttle needs to stop, but we don't know what will be the future. So to go directly to worst is not good. So we're looking for a solution that we can take to the one side to another side. And again, the robots, it's a good solution, because with some robots, if you have the same brand, you can imagine to push to another side for a peak period, or so it's very important. A last solutions to our planet is to avoid to have empty space inside the carton. Clearly, I think 100% of the people here could not accept to receive a big box with just a T-shirt inside. It's not acceptable. But again, we can see more and more the carton decrease. However, we try to work on it and to optimize the carton and to deliver directly a small package with a small item inside. It's a challenge.
And will your customers challenge you on sort of KPIs in order to deliver the results in optimizing or a kind of contribution to sustainability?
Yes, of course. We need to respect. We need to know exactly what will be the cost of the raw materials concerning the packing and the coefficient and of the volume. So, and for this reason, we work with a different company. Today, some of the company can provide some machine. It's a 3D machine, so it's a machine that we can create the packing around the products and to have a dedicated packing. So it's the first innovation that we can find on the market, and I think it will be good for the future. So to be not more technical, but if you have two products, you push the two products on a belt conveyor, you press to the machine, and you will have just a carton just around the product without risk of damage. So for me, it's a perfect topic. Secondly, we work with a standard machine, cheaper, but we will work with AI to define exactly what type of carton we need, what type of reduction we can obtain. And we can imagine that inside the packing table, the operators will have a computer and say, okay, take this piece to this position inside the carton to make sure that it will be very close and optimized.
Any questions? So, yeah. Okay, because we have someone supporting us, so he needs to get in action. Great. Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcel Thomas. I'm from Herbalife in the Netherlands. I would like to ask you, technology is very important, but can you tell a little bit more how the process starts when a client will come to Geodis, and how do you define or how do you come to the best possible fit in technology options you have?
I tried to understand your question because the quality was not good, but the question is how to define the best solution. Yeah. The best solution, again, is following your market, your job, what you need. When you pass through if you go to Google and you say, okay, I would like to have automation system for logistics, you find a lot of things. Just an example, IMR robots, we can find, I think it's 250 different companies available to provide the robots. So every day I receive a request from a supplier to say, okay, I can sell you a robot. Okay, but I don't know. So today we need to have a design. We need to define exactly what you want for what, and the contract, when should be the ROI of the systems, and following that with a different key factor. It's like a formula, big formula. We arrive of the solution. If we don't have our expertise, it's very complex. Sometimes I receive some customers say, I would like this, this, and this. And when I say why, but because it's fun. But it's very complex. So for me, if I can help you, it's if you have no support inside your company, the best plan will be to go to the company dedicated for design and to help you, and without the cape of one constructor. Because if you go to one constructor, he will just provide something that he has, but not another technology. So it's very complex. So the best plan for me is to pass by a company dedicated for design. But I cannot reply of what you need.
Yep. Yep. No. Yeah. Sorry.
Hi. Hello. You hear me? Yes. I'm Arnaud Scheffer from Cultura. No, you don't hear me. You don't.
The microphone.
Hi. Is anybody hearing me? Raise your hands. Okay, you're the only one who is not hearing it. Yeah. Try again.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Do you hear me?
It's good.
Yes, okay. Arnaud from Cultura. You are talking about ROI. In the recent months, I think the price of the automation has been rising too, same as labor. But is the ROI the same as some years ago? And what do you estimate a good ROI for automation?
The good ROI. I don't like to speak ROI because I would like to to give you an example. ROI, if we have 2 shifts, will decrease by 2 the ROI. So it means that when you meet some constructor of system and the brand is okay, you can find a ROI of 2 years. Okay, but why 2 years? It's clearly, following the last few years, clearly it's more and more not easy to find ROI. It's clear because the cost is a little bit expensive. However, the manpower costs go up. The cost of square meters go up. You have a complex situation to find people to work. So I discussed a few months ago with a customer. He told me, don't speak ROI. When my site has nobody to work, you don't have ROI. You just need to make the job. So you cannot compare with manual because I have no people to make the job. So at the end, the ROI, it's a complex situation. And but what I would like to say, it's if I take the robots, the AMR, for me it was very expensive few years ago. However, with many competitors of AMR, I think during the future years, the cost will begin to decrease because the technology will decrease. Today, you can purchase a small robots at home to clean the floor. 20 years ago, it was the most technical, very expensive. Now it's more easy. So,
okay, thank you.
Wait, I take the headset.
Another question, then I talking about cost. Of course, we need less blue collars, but in a warehouse, I suspect we need more white collars, expensive, hard to retain, with a high technology profile who will leave within 6 months for a better salary in a Google company. Do you have issues like this, and how do you address them?
Yes, it's a very good question because it was my last topic. Now, concerning the modification, you are totally right. What I see in the future will pass on side that a lot of blue color with not a lot of white color to a balance, and maybe you can imagine the future with a lot of white color and dedicated for the strategy. So clearly we will change, and the complexity will be to add this white color with not the same cost to the global ROI again. So it's a challenge. But we'll go back to you. We have 10 minutes to.
Hi, Christian de Vries, SendCloud. We recently integrated with Geodis to support our customers. I think you've shown a very nice examples of technology and usage in your warehouse, but can you also elaborate a bit on technology being used at Geodis for the first mile and last mile delivery part?
Yes, we work for a different strategy, but today for the last delivery delivery miles is more in France because we have a big company, and we don't have many solutions for the moment. So and especially for me, I'm more dedicated for the contract logistics until the last mile. But clearly it's the goals today. So but we don't have yet a lot of solution. And just to precise, I work more inside the warehouse, and the last delivery it's in general next to the city, managed with less throughput. So in general, it's not easy to make automation yet, because it's not new, but we try to find a solution to be integrated inside the city with some old house that you can use just to make our logistic and to be present just next to the customer. Yes.
Yeah, so I think we briefly discussed also about some future developments. You mentioned that you only actually started on a journey. So if you can take us, let's say, maybe some 3 elements on what you think the future looks like, what you want, right? What's on your wish list?
What I imagine now for the future, for the short-term period, so today and for 5 years, we can imagine to have more flexibility. I think it's a key factor. So it means that some robots, some small technology will be ready to help us and to avoid to take the risk. During a long period, only the system with like a conveyor was present to help us to make the job. However, now we have a different technology, and with AI, with all the IT, we can arrive to do something better and to optimize the square meters. After that, we can speak about the long term. What will be the logistic automation in the future? I don't know exactly, but I can just tell you my vision is. I think we will totally customize the final package. I think it's very important to imagine that. Today, when you purchase something on a website, you have just the choice of the delivery time. However, you cannot, not for all the company because we start, but you cannot choose if you want to have a green solution, if you don't want to have a secondary packing. We can imagine to receive a shoes box without carton around.
Yep.
Because what I want is to have the good shoes, not the good carton, because the carton will be directly to the garbage. So I think we will work a lot with this dimension. After it was my speech, but Arnaud takes the lead. I think that the logistics world will change. We will pass to a warehouse with a lot of pallets and a lot of rack, a lot of empty space, to an optimization of the warehouse. The blue collar, not very easy to find today because it's a very factor complex today is to find people, and you can imagine that my daughter doesn't want to work inside a warehouse. They prefer to manage something with a computer or with a smartphone. So the future will be maybe to manage with a white collar, manage with a lot of things, a lot of data, we can imagine that we will find a solution, and the solution will work during the night, for example, to prepare the order or prepare the storage for the moment, the morning, when the operators will arrive on site. So now we are able to make a lot of assumption following data from a website. You can imagine that data from people, famous people, that if he takes a photo with a new T-shirt, we know that a few hours after that, this T-shirt needs to be front of the operators, because we will sell a lot of things. Connecting to the weather. The weather is good, you need to change. So we will have a lot of data and optimize the solution to arrive with the systems totally optimized. A lot of systems can work during the night with maybe two person from maintenance, and when people is ready, you just optimize and you just make the job. So I think it will be the future. Do not ask me if the warehouse will be fully with robots with no people. Is sometimes a question, but I don't think it's very complex. But if we want to decrease the penability, to absorb some requests from the operators, to have more fun inside the warehouse, we can imagine to have automation and to create something very fast. And the last topic is maybe you can create something very big. Today's discussion is, do you prefer to have 10 small sites everywhere or one big site? I don't know, but we can imagine to have a multi-user, a multi-customer site dedicated for many customers, with a lot of automation to provide services that exactly the customer needs. And in Geodis, we have a e-logistic process. So it's to have a site with multi customer to provide these services. So it's maybe the future, but I hope we will have a nice future.
Thank you. And
thank you.
Are there any burning questions or even some future thoughts yourself that you want to challenge Antoine with?
Not challenge too much.
Hi, can you hear me?
It's okay.
Test.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Georgi from Grover.com. So I have more of a political question than tech question. So looking around in the startup scene, we realized that for operations and for engineers, it's quite obvious why technology and automation is essential for scalability, for efficiency. However, when it comes to pushing these, you mentioned ROIs, pushing these projects through, we hit the bottleneck where maybe the leadership comes from a economic or sales background and they cannot wrap their heads around this. How would you navigate this political landscape? Do you have any advice how to provide this awareness?
Yes, it depends of a lot of things, because I work a lot for a new project. For when you have a new project, it's new people, so you don't have the question. When you pass to the manual solutions to a new solution with automation, it's a little bit more complex. But I think the goal is to test. Many companies are available to make a proof of concept, for example, to provide some technology just to see what is the result. Because when we discuss with a company, a constructor company, everyone is ready to explain that the result will be very nice. You will win a lot of money. However, it's not very easy to understand, and it's not easy to understand if you are able today to manage with this automation. So I can tell you that the first topic is to work slowly with the small systems explain to all of the people that's the result, and following that, grow up a little bit with more technology, more systems, and see if it's good or not. It's like when you want to change something inside the company, we know that it's very complex. So we need to provide the best solution. But again, the proof of concept for me is the key to know exactly and to start slowly before to arrive with 200 robots inside the company and say, okay, now we'll change. No, it's too complex. And again, we don't have this discussion, but we need to have a support very technical. We need to have maintenance person. So it's a challenge because when we don't have the technical culture, it's not easy to integrate. So we need to have some people more technical to manage.
All right, thank you so much. I think one of the key elements of this debate is at least that engineering and automation is fun. I have heard Antoine mention it in quite some time, so I hope you enjoyed it. And this is a good start of the rest of the program, and wish you a lot of fun at Deliver. Thank you.
Thank you.